Lies new lodge officers tell themselves today on the Freemasonry Report. Hello, everyone. Freemasonry Report checking in, and today we're going to be talking about lies that new lodge officers tell themselves on a regular basis when they originally get started in their year as an elected or appointed officer. So we're going to go through these, and the first one is that every brother is going to appreciate the work that you're going to do in the ensuing year. This is just not the case. Not every brother is going to appreciate you, and be aware you're doing stuff after the gavel sounds and before the gavel sounds. They just see what they see, and sometimes they show up and they're not aware that anything has happened in the meantime. So you can never really be thinking that people are going to appreciate you for doing work that they're not even aware is happening. This might be taking care of the checkbook, keeping up with the minutes, taking care of some of those monotonous details of a lodge improvement. They just don't know, and you just think things are happening. And sometimes things happen and you just think this is just normal. So you can never assume that people appreciate the job you're doing. Here's another great lie that new officers tell themselves. The brothers actually like the ideas that you have. Officers come in thinking that every brother has elected them, and they think that their ideas automatically are loved by the brothers. This is not the case. A lot of times, new officers need to sell their ideas to the brothers to get them to buy into what they're trying to achieve during their physical year in their role. If they're appointed or elected, they can never assume that every idea they come up with is going to be beloved by the brothers. That is not the truth. Here's another lie brothers often tell themselves. The brothers trust me with the funds of the lodge and to spend it wisely and to be a good steward. Even though you would think that would be the case, not all brothers do. They're afraid that if too much spending happens at a given year, they might bankrupt the lodge as an officer. And other brothers have the feeling that if the budget is not approved, then there's no question that they don't know what they're doing in their role. Budgeting is one of the big keys, and a lot of brothers think that automatically, once they're elected or appointed, that the handcuffs are off and they can do as they please. But it is not the case. A lot of brothers will question and question and question and question. So you need to be prepared for that and dismiss this lie. Here's another lie that new officers often make, that their decision on the lodge uniform is beloved by all the brothers. This is not the case either. You can have a polo shirt and people are going to be upset. You can have a tuxedo and some people are going to be upset. You can have overalls, dungarees, and people are going to be upset. No matter what you choose as a lodge uniform for the given year or that you suggest for the given year, not everyone's going to fall in love with that idea. So you're lying to yourself if you think you're going to have 100% of the brothers agree upon, should we wear a black coat this year or a white coat? Should we wear a dark suit or a polo shirt? So be prepared for that, because if you're not, you're just lying to yourself. Here's another lie brothers that are officers that are new in their positions say, and that really get them in trouble. This one is thinking that people don't notice when you don't write your article in the newsletter. Some lodges only do the top 3 elected positions, while other lodges do every one of the officers. But trust me, the brothers that get the newsletter read it, and they see, and they take note that you're not doing your job. And no matter how great of a job you may be doing in everything else in the lodge, if you don't write a good article in the newsletter, you're not doing a good job. So don't lie to yourself. Write a good article. Here's another lie that always surprises me, that actually brothers on a lot of occasions that are new officers think that other brothers don't notice: the quality of the meals. Now, you might be cleaning up, you might be preparing, you might be cooking, but brothers do notice the quality of the meal. So if you think you're going to make a menu where it's going to be hot dogs every meeting all year, or pizza every meeting all year, oh, trust me, your lodge brothers will notice and they will not be impressed. So if you think that you're going to get away with that, you're sadly mistaken. You need to put together a good quality menu, no matter what office you're in, and no matter if you're helping out the one that's cooking all year. So the lodge brothers are aware that they are going to get a quality meal when they show up to lodge. This is super important, and a lot of new officers just lie to themselves and say, this doesn't matter, this is like an itty bitty detail. But the reality is, for some of our brothers and widows and families, this might be one of the really good meals they have a chance to enjoy. And you need to take that into account. Have a nice dessert item, a nice dinner prepared, maybe a nice appetizer, coffee heated and ready to go, ice for cold drinks, all ready before the brothers walk in the door. Okay, this is one of my favorites. New officers that get elected or appointed into a role and then don't show up to meetings and think, oh, you know what? I don't need to be at every meeting every time. No one's going to notice. Well, brothers will notice. And when they have to fill your spot because you can't make it for work or whatever reasons, school, maybe life, now and again, a vacation's understandable, but brothers do notice that. And they will take that into consideration when re-elections come around. So you're lying to yourself if you think, I can get installed into an office or put into an appointed position, and no one's going to mind if I'm not there more than half the time. It's just not going to be good or healthy for the craft to do that. And you're lying to yourself if you think you're going to do a good job and never be in attendance. You know what's great about this is there's so many lies new officers tell themselves. I can literally go on and on and on about this because it's so many times lodge officers get into their heads that they are the gift to the craft for their given year. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. Sometimes past masters will get grumpy. And there's a thing called grumpy past masters on purpose. It's not because you are making them grumpy. Well, actually you are, because you're lying to yourself and you're thinking everything is perfect and you're disrupting the quality work they did in their year, and now they're upset by it. So you're kind of lying to yourself if you don't have open communication and regular communication and think that the brothers in your lodge just have ESP and know exactly what you're trying to achieve. That's just a straight up lie, and you shouldn't do it. And now for my favorite lie: rushing degree work when brothers are not ready. Yes, we want to get new Masons in Masonry, but we need to give a chance for other lodge officers to actually be prepared to give an outstanding quality degree. Because there's two terrible things that can happen in Masonry. One is we do a degree and it's great, and the new brother that is in the degree as a candidate loves it and loves the lodge for doing a great degree. Two, we have a bad degree and the degree is not great. And that new brother thinks, what type of sham fraternity did I just join? I don't think I'm going to stick around to see another degree. I'm out of here. I call the second degree a fast food degree because people could just drive through, they come and they go, and it's not a good degree. So don't lie to yourself that you think everyone in your line is ready in their officer position to do the degree perfectly. It's just not the case. If you're going to try to put on a degree the first month after installation, you've not given a chance for anyone to get together and practice. Now you may say, well, Freemasonry report? No. Grumpy. Whatever. No, that is not the case. Because even if all the brothers know their lines, they've never actually worked with each other. And that is a huge impediment of doing a good quality degree. Because people need to work with each other, talk with each other, know different people's personality styles, speaking styles, speeds, everything else, and put on an amazing degree. If you just rush it, you're lying to yourself. Because you're ready, no one else is ready. That's your ego taking over. And having a gargantuan ego is not going to help the fraternity now or ever. So slow your roll, chill out, and make sure every one of the new officers are comfortable. And don't lie to yourself and say, oh, they just are. Because it's wrong. They're not. Here's another great lie new lodge officers tell themselves, and this is a beauty. The Grand Lodge puts together a constitution, digest, bylaws, whatever your jurisdiction calls them, and the officer comes in and says, doesn't apply to me. I don't need to read it. Wrong. You absolutely do need to read it. You need to take time and say, hey, you know what? I need to consider everything the Grand Lodge has put together. I look at the Constitution and the bylaws and everything that's in place, the digest, as being everything that's not worked in the past that the Grand Lodge doesn't want you to make the same mistake again doing. So they wrote it down and put it on their websites and sometimes on their books they give you when you become a new brother. A new lodge officer is very much at a disadvantage if they're just going to completely ignore that. I definitely don't suggest you do that. Never, ever, ever, because you're lying to yourself. It's different than saying, okay, I maybe read the wrong chapter when something came up, because now you're at least trying to read and saying, you know what, accidents happen, no one's perfect. And as one good brother said to me, the only good person they ever lived and walked on this earth, they nailed to a cross. So with that being said, don't lie to yourself. Read it, study it, have it handy on your smartphone, on your laptop, on your computer, on your tablet, so you can look at it if you need to, whenever the need arises. Don't say, I don't need that, I could just kind of wing it, because you're going to be sadly mistaken, and the craft is going to know that you're lying to yourself too. And finally, the grand finale, the biggest lie ever told as a new lodge officer that they tell themselves is, I can make every one of the brothers in my lodge happy just by talking. No, that's not the case. You're going to have to make a decision that's going to make people unhappy. You're going to put together a budget that may have line items that people don't like. You may make a decision about having a new activity, event, or whatever be postponed or pushed forward, and people are not going to like that either. So you need to be aware, as a leader, people are going to not always be happy with what you say. So just be aware of that. I hope you enjoyed the Freemasonry Report today in this episode. Like, subscribe, find us on YouTube, leave comments, let me know what you like, what videos you don't like, so I can make more content that is desirable and interesting to you, because you, my brothers, matter. And to the guests and visitors that are watching this video as well, click like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to hear, what questions you want to have answered about the fraternity and Freemasonry that I am allowed to share with you that doesn't break my obligation. All right, enjoy, stay tuned, more great YouTube videos coming in the near future.